What up, players? It's the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to Tuesday, 14th day of January, 2025. My name is Nick. I present to you Big J.
Hello.
Hey, Big J, how you doing?
I'm all right, man.
What did your Monday night consist of?
Watching some Monday Night Football.
Nice. What a debacle that was, man.
Done.
Awful games all weekend long, save one, man. That thing was over at
Tell
halftime,
that to the
dude.
teams that won.
No, I'm just telling you from an entertainment standpoint. I'm not saying that they're not happy they moved on. I'm saying I would say a majority of Americans at this point don't have a dog in the fight. So they're rooting for competitive football games that are fun to watch, and there were exactly one of those.
Yeah, I had thought that in the beginning of that game, I was like, oh no, it's going to be just a destruction of the Vikings. And the score was 10-0, Nick, and I'm like, I'm going to go take a shower. I come out of the shower, and all of a sudden it's 10-9, and I'm like, what the hell happened here?
Fully nude?
I think I was close.
Okay.
But, there was some shenanigans, I guess, a fumble recovery or something that wasn't a fumble recovery, and then all of a sudden it was 10-3 again.
I don't know. I wasn't watching the game. I was watching some of the highlights. I ended up watching a Netflix series last night.
So you didn't even watch the game, and you're complaining about it.
What
the hell?
Well, of course, I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you the game wasn't competitive.
Sounded like you were complaining.
Am I wrong?
I enjoyed watching it.
Okay. Then tell me all about it, Big J. What did I miss?
You missed Sam Darnold sucking it up.
No, it's nice to know the Vikings are a fraud too, not just the Packers. That's always good. I do enjoy that.
Why? You got to come into the playoffs hot, and the Rams their defense looked really, really good, and that's been the thing I think in all of these games, the wild card games you're talking about, is the defenses that were good really stood out over mediocre offenses, and so again, you get that whole line that defense wins championships, and I guess we'll see that because there's a lot of good defenses and a lot of good ground games left in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, it'll be really interesting because I would say the team that I think is the best of the bunch doesn't have a great defense, so that'll really be tested this year.
The Lions?
Yeah, I don't think the Lions have a great defense.
They're injured. I mean, their defense is beat up.
Yeah, Hutchinson's been out for a while, but despite that,
but even since all those injuries, they've still managed just to browbeat the hell out of everybody.
Well, they get into boat races, and they win the boat race is what ends up happening, and sometimes that works out in the playoffs, sometimes it doesn't. So we will see going forward what's going to happen in the NFL, but hopefully you enjoy the ride along the way. Hopefully you enjoy the show as well, because we've got a big one planned for you. Number one, we need your help picking out a movie for Big J. Streaming Dumbass is on the agenda today. Number two, we have a concert announcement today, Big J. We have a show that is coming to town as part of the X's 30th Anniversary Concert Series. We will give you the details of it. Number three, comedian Krystal Moore comes into the studio today to talk about some really cool things she has planned for the year 2025. So should be a very good show. And then you factor in some of the best music in the world, Big J. That's a W as far as I'm concerned.
Hell yeah.
We're blowing out the Vikings over here. Rage Against the Machine kicking things off on the morning after on the X.
Big J.
It's Tuesday, Big J. You know what that means.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday, baby.
I mean, in terms of important stuff.
Oh, what happens on Tuesday?
He's here.
Oh, I didn't realize it was only on Tuesday.
Well, that's what happens when you pay attention. You realize things. But he's here.
Accurate.
Gas Buddy is back in the studio, Big J.
Hey, guys.
And gas prices have had a pretty quiet week, according to Gas Buddy. Numbers stayed relatively similar across the country. But here in Boise, Big J, does Gas Buddy have good news or bad news, you think?
It's going cheap, guys.
That's right. It's down almost 7 cents in the past week, marking a new average price of $3.03 per gallon. Now, Gas Buddy spends his week when he's not here surveying over 216 stations in the Boise area. Gas Buddy, what's your favorite gas station?
Maverick.
All right. Is that an ad, Gas Buddy?
No.
Hashtag ad?
You asked me a question.
All right. I thought you'd be a little bit more,
fair? No.
Yeah, I guess I was expecting just a little bit more,
Save 10%. Save 10 cents off with your Nitro card.
Going right down the middle, but he came right out and said it. They found that prices in Boise are 9.7 cents per gallon higher than a month ago, but 3.7 cents lower than a year ago. Cheapest station in Boise, according to Gas Buddy, $2.81 per gallon on Sunday. Most expensive gallon of gas, $3.13. Difference of 32 cents. We're looking at an average of about 302 through the state. As we said, 259 is the cheapest in the state, 339, a difference of 80 cents, the most expensive. Now, nationally, the average price of a gallon of gas is sitting at 302. So now, Gas Buddy, we're right in kind of line of the national average. How does that make you feel?
Pretty good.
All right. We like when Gas Buddy feels good, because when he feels bad, Big J, you better watch out.
Yeah.
He'll sprinkle damnation upon all of us. And so, nice to see Gas Buddy in a good mood, and we appreciate all you do. Thanks, Gas Buddy.
Bye-bye.
Sure would appreciate a cheap plug for Free Gas Friday while you were here, but I guess you got other priorities.
Yep.
Didn't even mention the gas station, for crying out loud. Went off the board. We mentioned it in the open of the show. The wild card weekend wrapped up on Monday Night Football with a dominating Rams win, 27-9, your final score when it was all said and done. Rams kind of skate pretty easily against a Vikings team that was coming in pretty hot on their own outside of a Week 18 loss to Detroit. But I thought they had the upper hand, were favored in that game. But after the game, Matthew Stafford said that the team had gotten together and were like, hey, we gotta do something here for the entire city that we represent. We're playing for more than just ourselves. We need to make sure that the people that have just experienced an incredible amount of tragedy over the last 4 or 5 days have something good to look forward to. So you cannot, kind of disparage that kind of motivation. And so congratulations to the Rams. As a reward, you get to take on the Philadelphia Eagles on the road in the divisional matchup. We'll see how that goes. But, hey, listen, momentum plays a lot of roles, man. And the Rams looked pretty good last night. We're going to be pretty honest. And that offense is good, and that defense played out of their mind, sacking Sam Darnold. It seemed like pretty much every other down.
Yep.
And so congratulations to the Rams as they move on to take on Philadelphia. The division weekend is set. Now, Big J, you haven't seen the number one seeds in action, but after seeing the wild card teams become victorious, was there any team that you feel has a chance to make a run that maybe you didn't think after week number one?
Yeah, I think the Ravens and Lamar in particular are over the hiccups he's had in the playoffs or whatever, and defensively they look good, and you got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. I just think it's going to be hard to stop that.
Well, you like them to upset the Bills, huh?
Yeah.
That'll be quite the opportunity if they do that on the road. So we will see and keep an eye on things and see if that's the case. Big J, you may want to mark down January 19th. That is this Sunday, as that is the day that TikTok is expected to disappear regarding the App Store and from your phones, of course.
It won't disappear from your phone.
No, if you have it on your phone already, it's going to stay there, but you're not going to have an opportunity to check it out. TikTok has denied reports of considering a sale to the app to anybody, but Elon Musk's name was floating around to try to keep it operational in the U.S. amidst a ban. The company dismissed that report as pure fiction and declined to comment any further, so it looks like they're going to stick to their guns, and the Supreme Court still hasn't kind of levied their decision, but the 19th is when things are expected to go sideways for TikTok here in the United States. That is Sunday, Big J.
No hurry, Supreme Court. Take your time.
Morning after with Nick and Big J. They're not on anybody's schedule. You understand me?
Yeah.
We got ourselves some streaming dumbass action next on the X-Rocks.
From the new to the old, we're digging deep into the depths of Netflix. It's Streaming Dumbass on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the Treasure Valley, we need your assistance. We need you to pick out a movie for Big J to watch tonight and review for you tomorrow. It's called Streaming Dumbass. We've been doing it for years, Big J. Absolute years. But for the first time ever, figured why not start with a new year kind of keeping track of how we do. And so far in the year 2025, Big J has one movie that he has watched courtesy of Streaming Dumbass, and he has enjoyed it very much. So you guys are 1-0, and I'll tell you what right now, I'm not going to lie, Big J, I feel like I'm doing my part. I feel like I have picked out 3 movies today that have an opportunity for them to be all pretty good. So there's no dog in the bunch here. I don't think anything that's going to be a real bad movie, or at least anything that has overwhelmingly negative reviews. So I think you have an opportunity here to maybe go 2-0, but that's not up to me and that's not up to you. That's up to the listener, which route you want to go. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you the descriptions of 3 movies that are streaming on a platform currently. You're not going to hear the title or the stars, at least not yet. You're just going to get the plot description given to us by that streaming service. Based on that plot description alone, you have to decide which movie do you want Big J to watch. Do you think it sounds good and you wanted to check it out? Do you think it sounds interesting and you would like to know if maybe it's worth your time by Big J giving you a review? Or do you think it sounds just maybe a little bit bad and you want to torture Big J?
Yeah,
we don't
sounds
care
completely stupid and you think somebody should watch it.
About your motivations. We just care that you participate. So you do so by texting in movie number 1, movie number 2, or movie number 3 to 208-287-1003. The movie that gets the most votes is the one Big J agrees to watch with no questions asked, right?
Yep.
So let's get to the descriptions. Movie number 1, an artist who pauses her career to be a stay-at-home mom seeks a new chapter in her life and encounters just that when her nightly routine takes a surreal turn and her maternal instincts begin to manifest in a very different way. Movie number 2. Housewives Alice and Celine are best friends and neighbors who seem to just have it all. However, when a tragic accident shatters the harmony of their lives, guilt, suspicion, and paranoia begin to unravel their sisterly bond. Movie number 3.
Bonding.
A rideshare becomes a high-stakes game of cat and mouse when Jack and Shane receive a notification on their phones. When they spot something very suspicious, they find themselves in a desperate race against time before it's too late. Movie number 1, making some changes. Movie number 2, no longer friends. Or movie number 3, hey, what's that? These are your 3 choices that you need to get into. Which one of those do you want Big J to watch? Text in movie number 1, movie number 2, or movie number 3 to 208-287-1003, and that will help us out greatly. We will tabulate the votes, and we will figure out which one Big J has to watch and reveal the name of all 3 of the movies. That's coming up next on the X Rocks. That is Finger 11. That is Paralyzer here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. We should get to the exciting conclusion of Streaming Dumbass. Big J, have the votes been tabulated?
They sure have, man.
Is there a winner in the clubhouse?
Yes, just barely, though.
Wonderful. We had a little bit of a battle, so let's break it down movie by movie. What movie got the least amount of votes?
The least amount of votes, movie number 1.
Movie number 1 is a horror comedy starring Amy Adams and Mary Holland called Night Bitch. Amy Adams is getting some run for possibly an Academy Award nomination for her role in this particular movie.
For a comedic role?
Well, it's a horror comedy. I mean, she takes it pretty seriously, but there's funny things that happen throughout the movie. I'm not saying she's slapsticking it up, but listen, any movie that has a sing-along in her car with her son and her kids, listen, singing along to Weird Al Yankovic is a W in my book.
Oh, damn. All right. That's why you like the movie.
I thought Amy Adams was fantastic in it. So Night Bitch is on Hulu, but Big J, you will have to watch that on your own time. Mm-hmm. It's what movie came in second place?
Movie number 2. Wait. Huh? Hold on. Let me double check because now I'm confused.
Okay.
Let me
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, movie coming in is movie number 2.
Movie number 2 comes in second place, just like you said originally. That had the most star power of the bunch. Anne Hathaway and Jessica Chastain star in a new Hulu movie called Mother's Instinct. That also is getting some pretty good buzz, but you will not be watching that either.
Shucks.
Sounds like you'll be watching movie number 3.
That's right.
Movie number 3 you will also find on Hulu, Big J. That's a movie called Amber Alert, and it stars Hayden Panettiere. Remember her?
Yes.
Save the Cheerleader, Save the World, Big J.
Absolutely.
And Tyler James Williams, who currently stars in Abbott Elementary, but you also may remember him as a tiny little Chris Rock in Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, fun.
So you will be watching the film Amber Alert. It is available on Hulu. Big J will report back this time tomorrow and let you know if that movie is worth your time. So if you want to play the home game, it's called Amber Alert, and you can check it out on Hulu, and we'll see if Big J likes it or not, all right?
All right.
Any questions?
No.
Wonderful. We'll move on. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Important stuff. That's next on the X Rocks.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Kind of touched on it this morning. The Supreme Court has said they're not going to hear any more arguments for the case against TikTok. Rumors and articles have said that they are leaning towards upholding the ban, which means on Sunday it goes away from service and support and no longer available in the App Store. So where are TikTokers going to go if the app is banned? The rumor has it that Red Note has gained a lot of popularity in the App Store as a potential alternative. Now, Red Note has been labeled a TikTok clone, as it were, but the users say the experience is a little bit more similar to Instagram, whereas you have a feed and that kind of thing, as opposed to a little bit of a different.
It's also a Chinese company.
Flipping through, right? That's
So,
the rub.
What the hell?
I don't know. But Red Note was founded back in 2013 as a shopping platform, but soon emerged into a social media app. In July, the app was valued at $17 billion. TikTok set to be shut down, removed from Apple and Google stores this Sunday if the Supreme Court finally does release their statement, and rumors are that that's the way they're leaning. So that could be the way that it goes. But yes, then who knows if Red Note gets banned. Also interesting to me that Red Note, is that the name? No, it's Red Book. I'm thinking is the name of the old magazine, right?
Yeah.
Red Book. Big J, the coaching carousel wasn't done in the NFL just yet. The Dallas Cowboys and head coach Mike McCarthy could not agree to terms on a new contract with me, which means McCarthy can go sign on with any other teams, and the Cowboys have a head coaching position to fill. 5 seasons with the Cowboys, McCarthy was 49-35, but did not win a playoff game. The Cowboys are now on the lookout for a new coach who could possibly lead the team back to a Super Bowl for the first time in 30 years. The Bears did originally want to interview McCarthy for their opening, and the Dallas Cowboys said no. Already rumors that the Cowboys have sat down and talked to Deion Sanders about the vacancy. Big J, your gut feeling, does Deion take the job?
No.
You think he stays in Colorado?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think if the opportunity arises, he would do it.
He said as much in a social media post himself.
Sure. You know whose other name was kicked around for the Dallas Cowboys opening?
Don't do it, Kellen. Don't do it.
Is Mr. Kellen Moore, who does have some, obviously, relationships there in Dallas. Dak Prescott loves him, which is a big deal when you have a franchise quarterback that you're committed to, and those two go way back. It was Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore that didn't really get along. So with him out, the question then becomes, does he come back and take over the reins there in Dallas, and do you want him to? Big J, you clearly don't.
Well, I think I don't know. I mean, it's just, I guess here we are. It's like acceptable. You're a hot coordinator, offense or defense, and then you go and you become a head coach, and then, who knows what goes on. But sometimes I just feel like some good coordinators should just be coordinators.
Yeah, I mean, I've told you this hot take several times.
Yeah.
I like Kellen Moore a lot. I think he would be a bad head coach in the NFL.
In the NFL, I think it's a different story if you were to go into the college
I agree with that as well, yes.
Because it's a different ball game. But, I mean, you've got to get everybody. It's such a – that's why I think guys like Dan Campbell and stuff make a great coach, because he's a character guy, and he played the game, and he played it a certain way. And he's not like specifically an expert in defense or offense, and he can manage everybody to do their job the best that they can. Yes. Whereas it's hard to do that when you're the offensive coordinator guru who's now the head coach who's also calling plays, because you're expected to do that when you're the offensive guru. It just seems like a lot of stuff falls through the cracks of important stuff that needs to be done when you're the coach. I find that head coaches should be more like head managers than anything.
In the NFL, you're more a leader of men and a delegator than you are and yes, there are certainly some NFL coaches that call plays as well. But again, we've talked to Kellen Moore on several different occasions. He doesn't strike me as a motivator or a guy with a personality to be able to get
a halftime speech when you're down in the dredges from Kellen Moore like.
Not to say that he's not a great guy on the field.
We don't know. We're not in that locker room ever with him, so we can't know that. But it just doesn't on the outside look like that's something that is a thing.
I'm saying he's an incredible offensive coordinator. I think he would be a great college coach. I don't think he would get the job done in the NFL, and that's not his fault. Not everybody's wired that way.
Looks good to Ford Bronco, though.
But we will see how it all comes together. But his name has been tossed around as a possibility in Dallas as well. But he isn't going anywhere until the Eagles are out of the playoffs, so they have some work to do yet still, and we'll see what ends up happening.
Now Chicago Bears can get their guy. Go get your guy.
I was talking.
Go get Big Mike McCarthy.
As I was talking to my best friend, wishing him a happy McCarthy Liberation Day, I was talking about how wonderful it would be if he ended up in Chicago. I would love it so much if Mike McCarthy was the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. So much.
I mean, that would just be poor Bears fans. If that would happen.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Hey, hats off to Metallica. They're donating $500,000 for Los Angeles fire relief efforts through their All Within My Hands Foundation. The band said in a statement that they are splitting the money between the California Community Foundation Wildlife Recovery Fund and the Pasadena Community Foundation's Eaton Canyon Fire Relief and Recovery Fund, and have asked their fans to donate to either organization to help as well. Metallica said, quote, in the past week, the community has suffered at least 24 lives lost, nearly 100,000 people under evacuation orders, 40,000 acres burned, and more than 12,000 structures, commercial and residential, destroyed. But numbers cannot articulate the magnitude of anguish as disaster upends families and dismantle livelihoods. So they're asking fans to join them in lending support. You can go to Metallica.com for additional ways on how you can give to the All Within My Hands Foundation and the charities that they have handpicked to help out in this particular effort. So once again, something Metallica does not have to do but continues to do on a regular basis. Just a great thing that Metallica has done with this All Within My Hands Foundation. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Yeah, absolutely.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Coming up in a few minutes, we are going to hell, and this one has mature themes, Big J. You have been warned. It is next on the X Rock.
Bringing to light stories that are incredibly up. Oh man, we're going to hell.
Where the hell is the switch?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
Once again, I caution you, today's We're Going to Hell story has adult themes, Big J.
All right.
As we go to Lake Wells, Florida, for today's We're Going to Hell story. There, we're going to meet 53-year-old man Donald Calloway. And listen, we've had stories like this before on We're Going to Hell. But you know what, man? I got to be honest. It's been a pretty good clip since we've talked about a subject like this. And quite frankly, I'm okay with it.
Good.
That it's been this long, because there's a lot of things wrong with a lot of things in this world. But man, I don't understand bestiality, Big J. Can you explain it to me?
No, I can't. Why would I be able to explain it?
I mean, you love animals.
Not like that.
All right. I know you don't love animals. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you.
Today's story revolves around the 53-year-old man that apparently had been trying to have a relationship with a 28-year-old horse there in Florida, Big J. According to the document obtained by these awful websites that I go to, police say they received a call about alleged sexual activities involving an animal. An unnamed witness apparently came forward and told them that they saw a man trying to have his way with their 28-year-old horse named Raven. Now, the witness said that the man was apparently trying to have his parts near the horse's nose. Does that make sense, Big J?
God.
And one would think, man, these horses, like,
Are tall.
okay. That wasn't where I was going. But I was thinking, like, horses get bitey, right? Like,
yes.
You don't want to mess around with, like, that area
And
of a
kicky.
horse.
Bitey
at all.
and kicky.
But the witness that filed the report had apparently said that this gentleman had been kind of around their property on a pretty regular basis, and they think something was weird. So they set up cameras, Big J, and then they said when the gentleman could not end up, getting it in around the nose, that he just took care of himself around the horse. Does that make sense? So then they have video from the witness that collaborates exactly what they described to the police.
Was this guy putting on a show for everybody?
Callaway. Well, I think it's kind of like in this secluded farm. This is the image
Everybody's
that I'm
watching. Doesn't sound like
it's
it.
kind of. I think they set up cameras because they thought this dude was doing something weird. Because Donald Callaway had been around the property a bunch.
People had some good instincts.
The officers say the video doesn't show any actual kind of like sex acts, but the actions and movements make it seem like, boy, he really would like to if he had the opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when police confronted Donald about the incident and showed him the video, Callaway apparently said that he was dumb and said, quote, "I haven't had any sex in probably 2 months, and maybe it was just a sexually frustrated moment."
What?
You've had dry spells longer than 2 months, right, Big J?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure that
First
we don't
23 years of my life.
we don't just jump from a short dry spell to, well, I guess I have to involve an animal somehow. There's something mentally wrong with this gentleman. I certainly hope that he gets the help that he needs. He was arrested and booked on sexual contact with animals. That's a charge, Big J. He's still in jail and facing charges for this. So a reminder, animals do not need to be involved in any way in your sexual escapades.
They should probably parade this guy in front of all the animals around these farms and see if there's a reaction from any of these other horses. This guy might be a serial horse assaulter.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, if somebody's 58 years
He
old,
said
and
it's
doing
been a
this,
stretch, a 2-month stretch, but he didn't allude to like with a person.
Yeah, no, I know. Reminder: animals cannot give consent, Big J. So
You have to remind me.
let's not involve them in what's going on in the bedroom or anywhere else for that matter.
I'm a regular person, not a psycho.
All right. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Hey, there's your We're Going to Hell story. We got a concert announcement. Isn't that band going to be happy they followed this? That's next on the X Rocks. That's the White Stripes. That's Seven Nation Army here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Always nice when we can add to the X's 30th anniversary concert series calendar, so let's do exactly that.
It's another 100.3 The X concert announcement.
Big J, who's coming to town, bro?
Yeah, you know what? Coming to town here on May 6th at the Knitting Factory, 100.3 The X Rocks is proud to present and welcome back our good friends in Nothing More.
A really fantastic band, have traditionally sold out since they have come back to town these last couple of years. One of the alums of the Free X concert series, Big J. They have played that for us, and they put on a killer show every time they come to town. So you're not going to want to miss this. Enjoy some Nothing More right now on the X Rocks. Nothing More. Hey, that band's coming to town, Big J. Give us all the details again.
Yeah, May 6th, Nothing More, presented by 100.3 The X Rocks, part of the 30th anniversary of concert series. We'll be at the Knitting Factory. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. And I've yet to do all the details of the bands that will be opening, but we are excited for those guys to be back in town. Love them, man. And the new album is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, it's one of those bands that we were happy to be around at the very beginning for. That was the song that put them on the map. I remember very distinctly, Big J, going to see Lacuna Coil at like a Tuesday night at the Knitting Factory, and Nothing More was like the fourth band on the bill. But we have a really good friend that manages them, and they're like, you have to go check them out. So I went to the Knitting Factory, and I saw Nothing More back before they really kind of released anything, and they were amazing. And we were like, we have to keep an eye on these guys. Brought them in for a Free X show, hopefully turned a bunch of you into fans. And I can tell you for a fact that a lot of you have not missed the show every time they've come to town, because they always put on an amazing one, and they always fill up wherever they are. So make sure we do that yet again come May when Nothing More returns to the Treasure Valley. Very excited for that show. We will definitely be there. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Yes.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. On the way, some important stuff and your pop culture smackdown. Hold on, it's the X Rocks.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, can you be honest with me for a second?
No, can't do it.
Great.
What do you want?
How do you act when you're sick? Like, are you really like miserable and you need to be taken care of, and you turn into a big whiny baby, or man sick, like they call it, the man flu?
Yeah, no, I'm a little bitch.
Yeah. 1/3 of couples say that that's the case, that their significant other, specifically the male side of things, acts like a pretty big baby when they don't feel well, according to a poll of Americans. During an average winter month, Americans feel 100% healthy for only 16 days. Does that sound right, Big J?
I don't know about that.
Meaning that they're somewhat under the weather, or they're in pain, or something hurts on them, or they don't feel that great almost more than half the time the winter months are being a part of it. Now, of course, cold season is happening, flu season is happening. There's a bunch of flus going around, so it's certainly important to err on the side of caution, and odds are you're probably going to catch something. But it could be a lack of energy, it could be you have a cough, it could be you're stuffed up, it could be you're tired. All sorts of things could be involved in you not feeling 100%. But winter's definitely a tough time of year and often busy, so feeling off from that can really, really hamper us. So stay on top of your hydration game, Big J. Make sure that is something that you are on top of, and stay as healthy as you can. Make sure that you are following all instructions. Maybe take a vitamin or two. Maybe wash your hands a little extra, and see if you can't stay healthy during this winter month so you don't turn into a big old baby.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. We've all seen football players leaning over on tablets. It's a regular thing on the sideline of games, but it was a pretty big deal this weekend when A.J. Brown was spotted reading a book on the sidelines against Green Bay in the playoff game. Everybody kind of thought, oh, he must be bored or he must be frustrated. But he was reading a book called Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy, and he reads that apparently every game. And he said, listen, I've highlighted passages. I've read it at every game. You guys just picked it up during the playoff game. But it helps me get a sense of inner peace and focus, and that's important in playoff games. He wasn't frustrated. He doesn't want to be labeled as that. He just likes to read, and he's like, damn, I just enjoy reading. Of course, not a lot. You're not used to seeing a football player read a book on the sidelines, so that was a pretty big deal during the telecast, but he tried to explain it as just, listen, it helps him focus, and it helps him feel peace. Nothing wrong with that, right, Big J?
Yeah.
So hopefully A.J. Brown enjoys that as the Eagles go forward. Big J, the FBI is talking to Ben Affleck.
What?
Yeah.
The accountant?
No. Well, I guess technically, yes. But Ben Affleck, the man, an actor, because they had some issues with some drones around the Los Angeles wildfires, Big J. Not that they thought Ben Affleck was involved in it, but according to an FBI spokesperson, members of the FBI's Ground Intercept Task Force were conducting some activity in the area, and they wanted to see if maybe he had some surveillance footage of a private drone that was found to be interfering with some of the planes that were supposed to be dropping some of the water and other chemicals to help douse the fires. They couldn't do it because there was a drone in the way, and they were hoping that maybe Ben Affleck's, got some surveillance around his mansion, and maybe he picked up something. Do not know whether or not the security cameras around Ben Affleck's mansion may have captured the launch location of the unauthorized drone activity, but the FBI was like, hey, better safe than sorry. But for a while there yesterday, Big J, it was all about the FBI talking to Ben Affleck, and then the story came out as to why it was, because paparazzi called the police talking to him, and they're like, what did he do?
Yeah, I'm glad to see in all this, the paparazzi are still doing their job.
Oh, yeah, listen.
Thank God.
People got to pay for those photographs, baby. When celebrities do something like get out of their house or out of their car, where else are we going to find that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Hey, there's your important stuff. We're going to do some Pop Culture Smackdown. That's happening next on the X Rocks.
Here's traffic inside the TDS Fiber Traffic.
Pop Culture Smackdown. On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, we got a pair of tickets here for you and something else. The Red Knot Chili Peppers are going to be hitting the Knitting Factory here Saturday, the 18th. We'll get you a pair of tickets to that. And then, of course, we'll get you qualified for Free Gas Friday. Your chance of $200 of free gas thanks to Walmart and the X. We'll hook that up for you if you can beat me in Pop Culture if you can beat Nick in Pop Culture Smackdown.
That's right. Things are different. Roles are reversed.
Reverse.
Prizes remain the same. An opportunity to go check out a concert this Saturday and get qualified in $200 in absolutely free gas for Free Gas Friday. We're going to do another drawing this Friday, and your name will be in the hopper for that. 208-287-1003 if you think you got what it takes to answer some pop culture questions correctly and see if you can win this prize. Good luck to everybody. Hello, the X.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. What's your name?
Seth.
All right, Seth, you're up first, man. Good luck.
Seth, this man was the drummer for Nirvana and now the front man for the Foo Fighters. Who is he?
Dave Grohl.
That is correct.
Right.
Nick, what does LL Cool J stand for?
If I remember correctly, it's Ladies Love Cool James.
Yes, that's 100% correct.
Thank you.
Seth, Carl Weathers was a famous athlete turned actor, most notably for playing Apollo Creed in this movie franchise.
Rocky.
Right.
That is correct. Nick, LL Cool J has been nominated for 4 Primetime Emmys, but for what TV show, Nick? He was nominated for all 4 for the same show. Was it NCIS Los Angeles, Lip Sync Battle, or Hawaii Five-0?
What were the awards again?
Primetime Emmys.
Primetime Emmys. I know he's in. They have. All right, I'm just gonna say NCIS Los Angeles.
NCIS Los Angeles is incorrect.
Is it Lip Sync Battle?
Lip Sync Battle, yeah.
Right.
He was the producer for that show.
And the host, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember watching maybe like 2 episodes of that, and then I was like, this isn't for me.
Really?
Hey,
It's fun, man.
Sure. Congratulations, Seth. You've
Sure.
got yourself tickets to the Red Knot Chili Peppers, and of course, you're qualified for Free Gas Friday. Good job, my friend. Hang on 1 second. We will hook you up with everything that you need. We're going to talk comedy next on the X Rocks. That's 3 Days Grace. I hate everything about you here on the morning after with Nick and Big J. We have had Krystal Moore on the show a bunch over the last couple of years. Couldn't be happier about that because she is got to be one of the busiest people in the Treasure Valley when it comes to all the stuff you have going on, and you are adding more to that calendar.
Way more.
Yeah, as we turn to 2025. Krystal Moore joins us in studio. Good morning, Krystal.
Oh, good morning. It's always a delight to see you boys in the morning.
You are
Thanks.
very nice. Thank you for coming in and getting up early and hanging out with us again. But you come bearing news because, we've talked to you about a lot of different things that you have going on. The Jack Mormon Comedy Hour, some of the great specialty programs that you've put on in the Treasure Valley, and even, your Doctor Who fan series. You talked about all these things. But as we enter into 2025, you are a big part of something that is coming back to the Treasure Valley. Talk a little bit about that.
I am. Liquid Laughs is back, and she's underground where arguably she belongs. Really just keep the comedians down there. Yes, Liquid Laughs is back. Comedy is back at Liquid Laughs, and we are in this little room underground. We had our first show on Saturday, Femme Fatale, my monthly show I put there, and we just killed it.
It's awesome. That is awesome. Now, Femme Fatale is something that you've been doing for a while here in the Treasure Valley, but now it has a new home. For those of you that are familiar with Liquid Laughs, is it in the same place it was before, just kind of under a different name, or is it in a new location that we need to look out for?
So same building, right? We got liquid, solid. You got the food on solid. You got the liquid on liquid. We're down below in the basement. So if you go to the same building, you come in there, you'll see us clowns bringing you
Look for the
downstairs.
stairs.
Yeah.
The
We
clown.
all float down here. Don't worry.
And you'll find your way down to the new Liquid Laughs location, which is really cool. And of course, it's no surprise that as they're looking to kind of bring this thing back, they have reached out to some very entertaining and amazing performers and producers here in the Treasure Valley. And you were among them. And that means that you've got some regular things that you're doing out there at Liquid Laughs, right?
I am, yeah. The Femme Fatale monthly openly feminist, in Idaho comedy show, regularly second Saturday every month. Want to sync up the Treasure Valley, see if we can have a good time.
Love it.
And then a new show that I'm going to start called The Secret Show. The lineup is secret. It's the same time, same place, every, Liquid Laughs Underground, 4th Friday. This month it's going to be this Friday. Okay. Because I just already had a booking. I'm a busy lady.
You are.
But 4th Friday going forward every month, The Secret Show. Who's on the show? You just have to come and see the show. It's going to be good. It's going to be funny.
And there's going to be a lot of comedian. Now, I like this Secret Show idea, and I know that you're a creative person. Are you going to be thinking about themes when it comes to these shows, or are you just going to go, hey, random is as random does, and we're just going to go crazy with this lineup?
Well, that's a great question. I do like to, have a... You'll be surprised at the structure, I think, when you get there.
Okay.
That there was some thought put into who's on this show and how they go together and how it flows together. But that's going to be a little different every time. So it'll be really exciting.
See, I think that's really exciting for fans of comedy who want to check something out, but also I think more for the performers and comedians. That it's like kind of like for them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like a little opportunity to do something a little different, or nobody is here. They didn't even know you were going to be here.
Yeah,
you can play with this a little bit. If you're coming through and you're a bigger comic and you can't advertise other shows, you can pop onto this one and surprise everybody. I think it'll be a fun, secret little show. I'm excited.
And
mystery.
You had mentioned that it's not, definitely going to be funny and comedy, but it could be a little bit more of a variety show theme because you dip your toe into a lot of different things. Your stand-up is amazing, but hey, you do clowning, you do all sorts of different things. You never know what's going to pop up at the Secret Show, right?
That's true.
Yeah. What outfit is Krystal going to be in?
You never know. You never know. I will be having fun with that part of the Secret Show. Who am I going to be? You just have to come and see.
I love it.
It will be a variety show, though. So I'll have some drag acts, some burlesque acts every now and then. But it will be comedy.
Yes.
It's a funny show every time, but you're going to get a bit of a variety.
So as we launch this new schedule in the new year 2025 and Liquid Laughs makes its return to the Treasure Valley, is there a website for people that want to go and maybe grab tickets in advance? Do you recommend they show up the night of for things like the Secret Show? Do they visit your website? All of the above? None of the above? What do you think?
All of the above is perfectly fine. The tickets are all sold on the Boise Weekly website, their event page. So you go there, you can buy the tickets. You can go to my website. You can go to Liquid's website. Anywhere on. If you Google the show, you should find your way to a ticket link that will allow you to buy some tickets. You can buy some tickets at the door, but I wouldn't. It is a small room, so space is limited.
Yeah, and the Femme Fatale shows have traditionally sold out over the past several months and years, so it's not a surprise if you would be kind of on the outside looking in if you wait till the day of. So buying tickets in advance would be advisable. If people want to find you on the web and on social media, what's the best place to do that?
So that is, website is thekrystalmoore.com. Krystal, again, spelled like a stripper would spell it with a K. Thanks, Mom. And anywhere else on social media, it'll be Krystal Moore, the Krystal Moore, something like that.
Beautiful. So take a search and check it out. Krystal always has some great stuff going on. And listen, we've talked about this before, but I got to give it up to you and your whole, I know you have a couple of people that work with you. Your partner works with you in your social media. Your production value is absolutely amazing. And so that's why you are a great follow.
Yeah, there's nobody else actually who's doing it better.
No,
So,
I mean, it's amazing to watch the videos and stuff that you produce and put together. And it's really, really good. So we know that you put forth, and I know that's the kind of effort you put forth in planning these shows. So it's definitely worth checking out. So this Friday is the one we want people to check out, the Secret Show, the first one of the bunch. You're taking your first run at it. No hints as to what this is about or who's going to be there. Just grab your tickets, show up, and enjoy a wonderful time at Liquid Laughs, and then follow Krystal Moore for more information on all the stuff she has coming up. Congratulations on great stuff happening in 2025 for you.
Oh, thank you guys.
And don't be a stranger.
Yeah, anytime you want to come on.
No, never.
Yeah.
You guys are honestly the most cheerful people to talk to in the morning.
Wow. I mean, that might be.
Now, I don't talk to a whole lot of people in the morning.
Okay.
You are full of
To
crap.
be fair, I talk to like 4 people in the morning.
They're 3-year-olds.
And they're all getting ready for school and work. And
know
you
what?
guys are here just like, hey, you're great. You're fantastic. You're beautiful. We love what you do.
Okay, it
Then
makes sense.
I'll come in every morning if you want me to.
Listen, and then it's an honor to be on top of that list, Krystal. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in, and anytime you want to come in and talk about your projects, let us know, okay?
Thank you. Will do.
Krystal Moore, check her out. Check out The Secret Show this Friday, Liquid Laughs. Get more information online. Thanks again, Krystal. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Headlines on the way on the X.
You are now a better person for knowing this. It's Headlines on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Hi. Headlines are as follows. 86th, and I don't.
86.
Big J, what if I told you airlines are starting to ask airport bars to limit how many beverages they serve to possible passengers?
Makes sense.
It's happening over in the European Union, and it could be headed to the States soon. It started with Ryanair, which is an airline out of Ireland, and they are asking the airport bars to limit how many beverages passengers could possibly get before they go on an airline. They're looking for 2. This is in response to passenger misconduct on planes rising all over the world. They have said, quote, it's time for authorities to take action and limit the sale of alcohol at airports. The proposed rule would limit passengers to 2 drinks at the airport watering hole and would result in safer and better passenger behavior on board aircrafts, according to the airlines. Big J, agree or disagree? Time for your hot take.
I'm going to agree.
All right. You think 2 drinks is all anybody should get at an airport bar? Now, the question then becomes, with so many airport bars, can you just go from one to the other and nobody would really know?
I guess.
Or do you get like a hand stamp or something, like going to a club? Like you get a drink ticket.
Like you're a child. You need to be treated like one.
Yeah, because I do believe you would work your way around. I mean, there are large airports in this world, and if you're in one terminal to the next, no one would know what you were doing from one bar to the next, right?
Yeah.
But it's probably, listen, I've talked about this before, getting hammered before you do anything, not a great idea, but flying and getting stuck on a tin can with air pressure and all that kind of stuff, it's not a great recipe for you being your best self, I guess. If you need to pass out in order to fly, be a Baraka style, there are other ways to do that besides drinking yourself into a stupor and passing out on an airplane, you know?
Yeah, and it's not going to be good for your health, aside from maybe going to jail.
Yeah. And it would limit the opportunity of you having a drunken freak out on an airline and ruining everybody's trip to wherever they're going. Ooh, or I don't.
I don't.
An Australian woman claims she was tricked into marriage, Big J. The unnamed woman thought that the wedding was a stunt just for social media, which she believed because her partner had 17,000 Instagram followers. However, months later, the man wanted her to add him as a dependent in a residency application. It was then that he informed his bride that the wedding was, in fact, legit. A judge did rule in the woman's favor and the marriage was annulled in October of last year, but I'm still trying to figure out how you get married fake for social media. Like it was done online, maybe?
I guess.
Like via Zoom, and then the guy's like, hey, put me on your health insurance. She's like, huh? I thought we were just having fun. But let this be a lesson to everybody. How about don't get fake married to anybody?
Yeah.
And then nobody will ever confuse it for a real marriage because you never got fake married to anybody in the first place. And that way you don't have to worry about this down the road and have to go to court to get your marriage annulled that you thought was fake, but it was in fact real.
Yeah, what a pain in the rear end.
Yeah. And, the other fact that, anybody can be ordained and you don't have to have, it doesn't take much to get married these days. You know what I mean? Any Tom, Dick, and Harry with a internet connection can get ordained and marry you if you want them to. So you got to be careful. I mean, you could be having a conversation with somebody, next thing you know, you're married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All it takes is a couple of fake witnesses to sign some papers and boom, you're married. Look out. Wrap it up with ooh, ah, ah. Big J, that's a sound a monkey makes. Agree or disagree?
Ooh, ah, ah. I like that.
And a 5-month-old gorilla had to be rescued from a plane's cargo hold after jumping on a Turkish Airlines flight that went from Nigeria to Thailand last month. They have named this baby gorilla Zayton, and while it recovers at a zoo there in Thailand, experts are considering releasing him back into the wild. They think that while the landing gear was down on the plane, this gorilla came out from the jungles there in Nigeria that are apparently close to the airport, crawled right up into the cargo hold of the airplane, just kind of hung out there for a while. By the time it landed, the plane landed in Thailand and the baby gorilla was there, they could see it was very clearly scared and malnourished, and so they took it to a zoo to try to get it healthy and happy again. According to the Nature Conservation and National Parks portion of Istanbul, the monkey has since gained weight and shows other signs of recovery. Excuse me, the gorilla. Gorillas are monkeys, right?
No,
there is a
different
distinction between the two. My fault. And so it's much, much happier and healthier now, and they got to figure out what to do. Big J, where should this gorilla go? Back to Nigeria, its home, or should it hang out in Thailand where it's doing okay?
Well, if it's okay, let him hang out in Thailand.
But it's a little baby. Don't you think you want to go back to its parents?
Maybe.
All right. How do you find gorilla parents? Is there like a gorilla?
Ask Jane Woodall.
Is there a gorilla paternity test you could do? Morning After with Nick and Big J. Hey, there's your headlines. You're up to date on everything. Your bad impressions are next on the X Rocks.
Yeah, let's hook you up with some tickets here and get you qualified for some gas, okay? So we've got a band called Russian Circles. They're hitting Knitting Factory here March 17th. We'll get you some tickets to that show. Should be very interesting there. Nick, what do you call those bands that don't have singers?
Instrumental?
Instrumental. Thank you so much. Instrumental metal. It's pretty cool. We'll get you set up with those tickets, and then we'll get you qualified for $200 in free gas for Free Gas Friday, which is why are you laughing?
I think it's funny.
Which is we'll give away on Friday, brought to you by Walmart and the X Rocks. So hook it up. You want to get this stuff, then you can just figure out the clues here today for Bad Impression, and you're in.
208-287-1003. Big J will give you 3 clues to try to figure out somebody famous. If you could do so, then those tickets to Russian Circles are yours, and you are qualified for Free Gas Friday coming up on Friday. $200 could be yours as well. Big J, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
And to the phones we go. Hello, the X.
Hey,
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
this is Trevor.
All right, Trevor, you're up first.
Alrighty.
My dad, Pat, was a professional baseball pitcher. I learned a lot by being a pro athlete growing up watching him.
Next one.
People think I sound like Kermit the Frog. There could be worse fates.
Next one.
I won 3 Super Bowls as the QB for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Matt Mahone.
Yeah, we'll take it,
Little
right?
Patty Mahomes.
Absolutely. That is right. Good job, Trevor. Hang on one second. We'll hook you
Hi-yo.
up with and make sure you're good to go. Big J, hey, why is Patrick Mahomes in the news?
Well, getting ready for the playoffs here. They were sitting pretty with their number one bye and got to hang out. And in that time, Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany had a baby, Nick.
Aw, little tiny baby?
They had a little baby. Golden Ray joins the rest of the family. Sterling and Patrick Bronze, Levon Mahomes III. Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Hey, listen, just whatever. Enjoy.
But it's going to be a lot of hard. It's going to be hard to manage all of that stuff going on, man. Trying to get ready for the playoffs, a lot of pressure, and then having kids all over the place.
Yeah, I don't want to talk out of turn, but I would assume at this point the Mahomes family probably has a nanny or two to help them out as they make their way through celebritydom in Kansas City to help them with the babies. Playoff time is a little bit hard. Patrick's got to keep his head in his game, but you got to make sure the wife and the baby are healthy and taken care of and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure parents are in town and everybody's helping and it's all going well. But congratulations. What a wonderful family. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Yeah, he's got 3 kids now. So every time he gets a Super Bowl win, he's got to add a kid? Is that what's going on?
I believe that's what's in his contract, yes. So if they somehow manage it to three-peat this year, Big J, look out.
That'd be crazy.
They're running out of precious materials, however, to name their kids. We got bronze, and is there a silver involved in there anyway? Because Golden Ray, there's bronze in there.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay,
no.
then silver's the next one. Hi-O Silver. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your bad impressions. We wrap up the show here next on the X Rocks.
Mattress Shop.
That's Dead Poet Society and Hurt. Wrap it up the Morning After with Nick and Big J on this Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us. Special thanks to Krystal Moore for popping by, talking about her big 2025 comedy schedule. You can learn more at thekrystalmoore.com as she gets ready to launch a couple of shows every month in 2025 out at the new Liquid Laughs Underground. So make sure you check that out as well. You guys selected a movie called Amber Alert that Big J will watch tonight on Hulu. Report back tomorrow and let you know what he thought about it, review style. So if you want to play the home game, that's where you can find it. That's what it's called. And we talked about bestiality, Big J. So that was a Tuesday show for sure.
Boy,
Agree or
I tell you
disagree?
what. And the concert announcement.
Yeah, and we announced nothing more coming to town. So it was a big Tuesday show. That leaves you with the floor, sir.
Hey, man, now Northwestern University, they figured out a way to create batteries made from industrial waste.
Yeah, well, join us by the potatoes, will you? Because we can make them out of that, too.
Yeah, I suppose so. But that's good news, especially if you are dealing with expensive metals like lithium and cobalt. Batteries could be built out of cheap stuff and trash.
Does that make them any safer so they don't explode in things?
I would hope so.
Good. That'd be nice. How about we invent batteries that don't do that?
That'd be a great idea.
Next set of X-Rock brought to you by Beacon Plumbing for tank and tankless water heaters, clogged drains, leaky faucets, toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating and Mechanical, your trusted plumbing source. You can find it online at beaconplumbing.com. That is it for us. We are out of here. Jason Drew's coming in next. I'll see you all tomorrow. It's the X-Rocks.